For the fire department or the rescue department, we are facing a big challenge on the building heights because there are super tall buildings, high-rise structures, and even though some kind of transportation system like the cable cars. So all of this are faced by the rescue department to catch up with the development of the city. So the first picture is we do some exercise on the rooftop of this building. So we are trying to put our rescuers into the real situation and real scene scenarios so that they can get used to the high-rise situation. And when there is a real case come, they can face it and they can do it more confidently. Okay, so today I will talk about a bit on high-angle rescue. So it is a bit different from the tall buildings, but all high-rise rescue situations. In the past, the rescue department just faced with some kind of a shorter building or some kind of rescue situation on a mountain or small hills. So we don't need to do many complicated rescue situations or scenarios on the urban area. But when the city grows, like where you come from, we had faced a lot of different, various, complicated rescue scenarios on super high-rise scenarios. So if we still are using the techniques or equipments, rescue equipments that we used in the past to deal with the low buildings or mountain rescue situations, that will be inadequate. So at 2011, we started up a study, and then we started up a small team, which is we had provide some more sophisticated training for them, and we have sourced some specialized rescue equipment for them to deal with the high-rise situation in Hong Kong. Actually, for the booming business in the developing in Hong Kong and also for the properties development, we have faced a lot of rescue scenarios on the construction buildings, under construction or construction sites like a high-rise building or any other high-rise structures, facilities. In Hong Kong, we also faced some kind of transportation system like cable cars for the amusement in the Ocean Park or for the NP360 cable car system. So this is also one of our challenge for heights. But for sure, it is not about on the high-rise tall buildings. Okay, we also face on some fire scenarios, which is some high-rise building which is catch on fire. But for the new designs of super high-rise building, we are very sure that the building designs had provided very good fire escape system and concepts on the new buildings. So if we look at to the statistic on the fire cases, real fire cases, the fire statistics were dropping because of very good building design, very good fire prevention measures. But for other rescue situations other than fire, there was a rise. because of the booming development on different structures and also infrastructures. We also faced a bit strange situation on a suicide attempt. You know, crowded situation in a big city, people are facing very great pressure on their lives. So we have at least 4 to 5 suicide cases every day. Every day. Threatening to jump from heights or jumped from tall buildings down to the ground. So at least 4 to 5 each days. So we do a lot of suicide interventions on tall buildings. Okay, and then we got some kind of construction site accidents, industrial accidents like tower crane rescues or gondola rescues. For the tower crane rescue, it is mostly to be occurred in construction sites or building under construction. But for the gondola rescue, most of them are occurred on buildings after occupied. So I'll skip the fire situation part because this will not be some kind of high-angle rescue for today's topic. Okay, as I said, the traditional rescue techniques were no longer enough for the new buildings and super tall buildings and super tall structures. So I don't want to discuss a lot of on its weakness. This is what we used 10 years ago. 10 years ago, people still jump from the heights or threatening to jump from the heights. So we do it with this kind of simple rescue equipment and technique 10 years ago. But when we have such an evolution, we need to change. Also, because of the good communication system, very easy to have a videotape on the YouTube. So for the rescue department, we have gained more pressure on our rescue time. Because if you do it slow, and then your actions and your operations will be put on the YouTube, and everyone will know that. Okay, so we have got much pressure from the social and also from the media. They got reporters having their cameras shooting on what we are doing in our rescue operations. So we have to do it more efficient. So in 2011, we started a project on creating a small team with specialized and professional training. We have introduced an industrial rope access techniques to them. Although these techniques are used in the industrial field, but we combined it with our rescue procedures and quality control system on our rescue department. And then we started a small team. Also, we'll take reference on different international standards like the NFPA or other EN standard, ES standard, and then we created this small team with a specialized rescue equipment on them. So they are now getting their ability on doing various high-angle rescue situations on super tall buildings. Okay, and then we are now contacting the international standard, and then we evolve from maybe 2 or 3 years once. There will be a fine-tune on their techniques on doing some high-angle rescue situations. We also put in a different level skill base on our training, our in-house training. And then the small team will receive the highest level of training from our department. We also put it in different categories. If there is some case on high-angle rescue or some case on road traffic accident, we'll deploy different rescue teams for those specific incidents. Okay, this is the small team. So from now on, it is only 70 members for the Hong Kong Fire Department. Okay, for sure, we'll emphasis on their safety concepts. Although they do something or rescue operation that was risky, but we are very emphasize on their safety awareness and also team spirit. We'll also look into our members on their psychological qualification that they can do very sophisticated or complicated multi-procedure rescue operation on very high area. Although you can do it on the ground, but you can't do it on 10th floor. And how about the 100th floor? They'll think independently because we'll just send 1 or 2 guys up to the most risky points that we need to do some rescue. And we'll give in intensive training on them, so they'll train very frequently, like the first picture I showed you. They'll come here to do the real scenario training every year. Okay. So this will be the 2 weeks training, initial training, and then they'll go through a 3-week scenario-based training. So a total 5 weeks training for becoming a team member. And then they'll go to the real scenario for training. If they fail, you're out. They need to reach a minimum training hours of 80 years per year. So 80 hours is not very difficult for them to achieve, right? But we just count the hours or the time you're on the roof. If you come down to the ground, we don't count that. So they are doing the training, repeat and repeat. So when they go to a real case, they'll be more confident on every high-angle situation. We'll also train up their leadership. So this is some pictures showing our daytime training and nighttime training on the cable cars. So you can see at the daytime, they'll be on the cableway. And also at nighttime, after the operating hours of the cable cars, they'll go up there to do the real scenario training. These kind of trainings will be 3 nights per month. So they train a lot. So maybe I'll show you a little video on how they do it on a high structure. This is the cable car system in Lantau Island. So when they climb up the cable car tower, they will slip down to the cable car. get the passengers down, and then lower the passenger down to the ground or to the sea if that cableway, that part of the cableway is over the sea. They also do some kind of tower crane rescues, training, and other little training video on what they do on it. So you can see that they can climb up within machine and equipment. So if we use this kind of equipment on tall buildings, super tall buildings, they can go up without any help of the elevators in case of any emergency if there is no elevators. So they can climb up. And then get a guy who is not feeling well, and then go back down to the safe ground. The container terminal rescue is also one kind of our high challenge. This situation may be in your own city or country. Rescue scenario on the bridge tower. Who will be on the bridge tower? The maintenance worker will sure they'll do the maintenance work every day on the bridge tower or high-rise buildings. So this is our main duties on doing the high-angle rescue in very difficult situations. It is not only going up to the sky, but also going down to the ground. We got some vertical shafts, caissons going down to the ground for 170 meters for some sewage works. So we go down to get the worker up to the ground and send him to the hospital if some guy is feeling unwell. Some kind of amusement facilities in Hong Kong is also some high challenge. So we do frequent training and exercise on them. So if there is some, like Ferris wheel recently, that we can go up, climb up, and get those passengers down safely. We also put up a support team for our operation team. The support team actually is I myself and some other my colleagues as the instructor of my department. They also participate in the rescue operations and work with the frontline rescuers to do it as a whole. So we got a whole team spirit on it. And sometimes we also provide some technical support or advice to the frontline firefighters. So we got a bonus that we have those operational experience and put it back in our normal daily training. This is some real case on in the past years. So we got container terminal rescues, gondola rescue outside high-rise buildings. So you can see there are some gondolas with the workers stuck on 34th floor or 26th floor with no opening curtain wall buildings. Another video that I can show you how we do a rescue outside a high-rise building. So let's see the video. So this video comes from the press. The workers is stuck on the 34th floor with yelling for help for an hour, and then some guys discovered that he was stuck on the top of a gondola, and then we abseiling down from the roof of a 49th floor down to 34th floor, and then we grab him and push him back into the balcony. Okay, then we come to the way forward for our future development after the sharing of the past experience. We have an idea. If everybody here, we can put up an idea of setting some anchor points of facilities or any kind of designs which will facilitate the possible rescue situation on these kind of high-rise buildings or structures, that the rescue time for us, for the rescuers, will be shortened for sure. So all the occupiers, workers here will be more safe. What kind of building design should be? Like the gondolas, we can set out some anchor points or permanent anchor points up there, so we can put on our roofs carabiners in a very short period of time so that we can do the rescue in a shorter period. Or anchor points, bolts, or even concrete structures, claddings, features that will not be affecting the design of your buildings, but they can still facilitate our rescue operations. Like the photos I showed you, there are over 2,000 anchor bolts on the big Ferris wheel in Hong Kong so that we can climb up. Because the Ferris wheel in Hong Kong is 60 meters high, which could not be achieved by our fire ladder. So over the 50 meters, we have to climb up, but not by our fire ladders. So as a conclusion, we hope that this small little idea could help us to have a modernized, specialized, professional rescue team work with all of you, the building builders. Thank you.